Hello, Cancer. Welcome to your tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. Okay? And remember, Cancer, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And there's the Six of Cups that we've been wanting for so long. You know, yesterday or last night, maybe, I don't plan these readings out in any way, right? I don't have time to do that, and I don't know how I would anyway. But I was thinking that, because I'm a solar Cancer too, don't know if you knew that, but I was thinking about how much I really love peace and quiet, tranquility, right? And the Six of Cups for me, I was having kind of a vision of the Six of Cups. And it was all about peace and tranquility and just a calm, pleasurable time, even if it's just a moment, right? Anyway, let's figure out what's going on here. Dove and Serpent spread. If there's anything that you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Okay? Now, we're going to finish up here with the Path of the Serpent. I already kind of know how this is going. I think that we're kind of projecting onto this a little bit because we have this peace and tranquility with the Six of Cups, and at the very end, life is back to the chaos, right? So this is about really appreciating these moments of quiet, of stillness, right? Let's do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. We're going to use the Waite Smith deck. I've been liking this deck more and more. I actually just ordered the vintage version of it, which I like obviously I like the borderless tarot decks a little bit better. Something that looks a little bit more antique, I think, fits with the aesthetic of the channel. Anyway, enough about me. We're going to do our mystery card. Alien can watch that for us. Frog has a day off today. But for the rest of us, it seems there are no days off, okay? But let's look around because we've got a lot of energy. The colors are really, really bright colors, okay? So we've got some fire, well, more fire. We've got a lot of earth here, a lot of earth. We've got some water, and we've got these three majors, okay? So the three majors are very interesting because they're all in positions of, well, this is in the position of some past event or past issue. We have this is in the position of what's going on around us or in our environment. And then we have this final card, which is the kind of, the outcome. How is life moving on after all of this energy, right? So it's interesting to have these three majors. And then we have both Queens of Pentacles, discs, and wands down beneath everything. So I think a lot of what this rests on is our internal kind of water energy. And internally, what we're looking for is the Six of Cups, a little bit of peace, balance, tranquility, harmony, a little bit of easiness. This is not anxiety, right? This is mellow. And I think right now this is what you're trying to experience in your life, okay? I think you're trying to bring more of this into your life. The High Priestess over here showing an increase in your environment, showing that the moon is waxing with this beautiful Six of Cups energy. So we're trying to bring more tranquility, more balance, more harmony into our environment, into our home life, our work life, our personal life, professional life. We're trying to experience this within, too. This is almost like we need a little bit of peace and quiet externally in order to achieve it internally and have what we would consider a religious or spiritual experience, a mystical experience, or just a little bit of calm relaxation, Okay? It doesn't have to be some grand spiritual or mystical attainment that you're after. Sometimes peace and quiet is good just for its own sake, just to unwind a little bit. And I think that we need that right now. And we see a lot of other cards that are talking about this. The reason why we might be really in need of this Six of Cups. Really in need of this just pleasure. It feels good to just be calm. Maybe this is, you taking some time to meditate or just to experience the calmness. Take a walk out in nature by a little stream or something, where it's just kind of quiet. You don't hear car horns and trucks backing up. And, I know it's not always easy for us to find those areas outside. Okay? A lot of us live in cities, and it's really hard. Even you go to a park, right? I think most towns probably have some kind of a park. But even those parks are right next to the boulevard, right next to the factory or the shopping center or the freeway. And there's traffic, there's people, there's noise. And that's fine. That's fine. But we need moments of calmness. This is even resorting to getting a good set of earplugs and a blindfold, right? Cutting off the sensory stimulation to achieve this inner calm. Now, the first time we do this, I know this is kind of a practice in some of the Eastern yoga meditation stuff, where you close all of the openings, all the sensory openings, right? I recently did they call it a flotation therapy. It's like sensory deprivation, right? You sit in a little plastic pod with a little bit of really salty water, and you can just float there. And you've got earplugs. It's relatively dark. It's not pitch black, which I wish it was, but there's still some light getting in. But it's about finding that peace and quiet externally so that we can hopefully one day achieve that internally. Now, I wasn't really able to, I'll be honest with you. Because the whole time I'm worried about, about floating there. I'm trying to just find the peace and quiet in my physical body, but I was tense. It's hard to go from a busy day at work. I got a day job, you know what I mean? It's not just the tarot that I do. So we're really busy here. And to then go right into this kind of sensory deprivation, by the time it was over, I had just started getting into it, So for me, that just reinforces this idea that, look, I need to make more moments like this. I need to find more time, even if it's just, 5 minutes before or after work, or maybe on a lunch break or something, to just stick the earplugs in and sit quietly with my eyes closed and let all of my anxiety, all of my psychic tension, all of that psychic pressure and energy to just kind of run itself out and dissipate until you can experience that calm. I'll be honest too, I haven't been meditating as much as I used to. Life gets busy, we get busy with things. But we need that. And I think in some form or fashion, maybe you're not religious or spiritual, maybe you don't meditate, maybe you can't stand all that mumbo jumbo, hocus pocus. You still need some sort of centering, some sort of tranquility, some sort of, even if it's just a moment, of peace and quiet and calm. Okay? And I think that's what we're looking for right now in our life. And I feel like we're trying to find different ways to do that. This is the Three of Discs. We are experimenting. We are trying to figure out what works, right? Trying to figure out how we can kind of squeeze in a little bit of this tranquil time. Where we can fit it into our day. We got a lot of stuff going on. We see a lot of busy cards here. A lot of, not necessarily busy cards, but very heavy energies, a lot of responsibilities, a lot of being extended very far. You're stretched really thin, right? 10 of Wands, we got 10 of Cups, we've got 8s. We've got really kind of low energy. Or, well, I guess I shouldn't say low. It is heavy energy, right? Very heavy energy. So we're trying to figure out how to lighten the load a little bit. This is a 3. This is pretty high up the tree of life, right? So we're looking to maybe get rid of some just extraneous activities or wastes of energy, right? We only want to be spinning about 3 plates at once, not 20. So we're trying to figure out in our life where we can trim some of the excess. Maybe we're realizing that the way we do things, here's where we're starting to talk about this 8 of Pentacles or discs. Maybe we're realizing that the way we do things is using a lot more energy and time than it should. Can we be more efficient? I'm a very firm believer in martial arts or Tai Chi or something like that, Qigong, where you try to streamline your movements, right? It's kind of, it's maybe one of these laws of thermodynamics or something where energy tries to find the most efficient way to do things, right? So it's just, we don't need to put all of our energy, all of our force and muscular power into washing the dishes, right? That can be a peaceful, calm thing. You show me somebody who is vigorously washing their dishes, and either their dishes are really, really dirty, or they've got a lot of this kind of, this pent up, energy, like these 10s that we see. They've got a lot of, and maybe we're kind of like that. We've got these 10 wands, 10 cups. So maybe we're trying to figure out where we can kind of trim some of the excess off of our commitments, off of our activities. And then also learning how to do things more efficiently so that we can try to maintain this peace and calm even through all of the busyness that we do, right? We don't have to let ourselves be so frazzled when we're doing things. We can try to invoke, try to hang on to a little bit of this peace and tranquility, even during all of our activities, all of the responsibilities that we have. So I feel like we're trying to be more efficient in the things that we still must do, Here's the 10 of Wands that we're talking about. And this is a lot of responsibility. I think that you've got a lot of weight on your shoulders. There is a lot that you have, just over time, I think you've accumulated a lot of commitments, It seems like every few weeks, every couple of months or something, like you just find you've got another thing on your plate. So before we know it, we are spinning literally 20 plates instead of just the kind of 3. The smaller amount is more manageable. So, we have to take a look at this too, because this is there a reason why we are putting so much on our plate? Is there something deeper, more subtle going on of where we know we need this peace and calm and tranquility and this kind of relaxation, this inner peace, but we just keep piling stuff on so that we maybe don't have to deal with the hard work of getting to that inner peace, right? So I feel that in my life a little bit, okay? I feel that maybe I do take on a lot of tasks, responsibilities, commitments. And maybe part of that is because I don't want to have to focus on how am I going to get this tranquil state back? How am I going to do that hard work? Because it's going to be a gradual process. It's not like you can just stop what you're doing and then suddenly you enter nirvana, or even you can just instantly relax, let alone nirvana, right? By the time you're able to relax your body, relax your mind, and finally get your little bit of peace and quiet, then it's time to get up and start doing things again, So it's something maybe we avoid a little bit, the effort to do that. And that's unfortunate because I think as Cancers, we really need that. I think just as human beings, we need that, you know. So there is a lot on your plate. And you have a lot of plates. So it's even more than what we think of with a Ten of Wands, a lot of responsibilities. It's a heavy weight. Now, in the recent past, we've got this Hermit energy. I think things were easier in the past when maybe you didn't have so many responsibilities, when you were a little bit like a hermit, a little bit of a recluse maybe. You know, maybe you lived alone, you had less to do every day, less commitments, you know, where you could be just kind of like a monk, just living your life and trying to find that tranquility in every activity. And maybe you had a really streamlined life, very simple life. And this is kind of the ideal state, you know. It wouldn't hurt to be a bit of a cloister, you know. It would make it easier. But how much greater is going to be your joy and your success when you can achieve this in your daily life, in a kind of normal, let's say, whatever that means, a normal human life, right? Not a hermit, not a cloister, right? It might be easy for anyone to achieve this when they're in this hermit energy. So how much greater is this going to be when you can achieve this here and now, in the life that you have now? Yes, we might want to kind of trim the excess, streamline our behaviors, learn how to do things with the minimal energy, right? Now, should say something about that. The eight of discs here, minimal energy. This doesn't mean you should go around half-assing everything. What this is saying is you need to learn the minimum amount of psychic and physical energy to do something the way it needs to be done, right? It's not like you're trying to hammer a nail into a board and you're just kind of minimal energy, just tapping it. It's going to take you forever. So over time, you're going to end up using a lot more energy, wasting a lot more time than if you just give it one solid whack with the perfect amount of force. Now, you don't want to hit it too hard. What if you just shatter the whole thing, the whole birdhouse or whatever it is, right? And that's the Eight of Discs, is knowing how much effort to put into it. Knowing what that effort means. Again, those little light taps, it's going to take you a year to hammer that nail in. And that's a wasted year and a lot more energy, sum total, in the end, than just one perfectly timed, perfectly expressed whack of the hammer. So that's the Eight of Discs here, and that's the paying attention, like knowing that about your activities. What is the appropriate amount of energy, psychic and the physical energy? So this is a bit of a delicate card, right? It's, you know, you could easily go too extreme and you're suddenly just kind of, you're whacking everything so hard and you're just putting your hammer right through the wall. But then on the other side, you're just too delicate and nothing's getting done. Anyway, down beneath everything, we've got the Queen of Pentacles here. So this is you really trying to find the tranquility in your physical daily life, right? You still have these aspirations to live a successful life, to live a life full of responsibilities and jobs and relationships and people and rewards and, you know, challenges. And you want to do all of the kind of normal, again, air quotes, normal things that a human does. You don't necessarily, part of you maybe, wants to go and be the hermit, be the cloister. But at the same time, your life, your family, your responsibilities, now you want to be successful. You want to have this kind of human life, you know. You want to be a part of the world. But you want to have that water energy inside, right? You want to have the ability to, I think I called this card the Queen of Discs when we first started here, the Princess of Discs. The Queen of Wands is over here. I just have misspoken. With the Princess of Discs is a real immersion in the world. You know, it's a potential for all of these kinds of successes and rewards and achievements, progress. At the same time, like I said, you want that water energy within this, right? And that's kind of why we've got the Queen over here, the water of the fire here. So you, in some ways, in some ways you're being a little bit black and white about it. You know, it's either you could be part of the world and you can have all of this great success and achievement, right? You can do such great things with your life. Or you could have peace, calm, tranquility, a mystical, hermit, cloistered kind of life. You can live a holy life of a monk, right? It's either or. I don't think it is, though. I think that may be what we're talking about here. This may be the lesson that we're all learning, myself included, as we go through this. And that may be the message of the Princess of Discs here. You can do both. You can be both. You can be the holy person, the hermit, the cloister, in the midst of a very active, busy life. Very successful, goal-oriented kind of life. Because right in the middle, we've got this Six of Cups. And this is kind of the center upon which everything else is hinged, right? Everything else is revolving around this Six of Cups. Our hermit kind of vibe, our intense responsibilities and commitments, our efficiency, right? What we're trying to do with kind of streamlining our life a little bit, and our sense of really wanting the earthly achievements. You know, we're goal-oriented people. All of this hinges around this inner peace, this inner tranquility, this kind of spiritual, mystical feeling, right? This holiness almost. And now we're on the path of the serpent. We start with this Queen of Wands. This is in all of this fiery activity, all of this energy. It's all of the stimuli that our senses attach to, right? Physically, through our eyes, our nose, our mouth, our ears, our nerve endings. All of the stimuli that's coming in, right? It's overwhelming. And at times, you know, I'm myself a little bit kind of hypersensitive to stimuli. And too much noise and it'll affect me. Too much sensation, too many smells or sounds or sights or whatever, right? It can be overwhelming. So our goal is to really be able to handle the stimuli from outside, but it's not affecting the water. Remember, this is the Queen of Wands, the water of fire. So within all of this fiery stimulation of our sense organs and our nervous system, essentially, within that is still this kind of pure, calm, tranquil water, Six of Cups. Okay? So it's kind of like this, really. This card here is embodying you, it's representing you in the mode of a Six of Cups within that Ten of Wands. Okay, this is the theory, and this is it in practice. This is the kind of abstract philosophy, and this is it in action. So we can achieve this. In all of this activity, all of this stimulation, all of this bombardment of impressions, we can maintain this peace and tranquility within us. Okay? And we talked about the High Priestess here, and this is the bringing in to our environment, an increase in our environment of peace and tranquility and calm. You know, as much as you are able, mold your environment in such a way that it'll foster this kind of peace and tranquility. You know, through the art on your walls, through the colors that you use in your house or at your at your job or in your car, or the music that you put on. Light some calming, peaceful kind of incense or something. Like we can try to mold our environment to some degree in order to foster this feeling that we want, right? This feeling of peace and quiet, tranquility, this feeling of holiness, right? We've got now this 10 of Cups. This is really an overwhelming energy, similar to that 10 of Wands. They're pretty much on par with each other. It's a lot of overwhelming emotional stimulation, right? It's just a lot of excitement, a lot of maybe turmoil in your life too, just a lot of emotion, right? Not only is it a lot of activity and a lot of sense impressions, but it's just a lot of feeling. It's maybe a feeling of being overwhelmed, right? So these cards really go hand in hand. And I think we've discussed a lot of this energy already, and the need to bring these tens, these extremes, to the balance and harmony and peace of this 6 of Cups. Now, we achieve that. We achieve that in whatever way we can, but we know no matter how intensely we feel that, no matter how often we can enter into that or just pause to appreciate that, no matter how much we're working towards that 6 of Cups, life is always going to be hectic and chaos and unexpected. There's always going to be change. There's always going to be an abrupt demand for your attention and your energy. And this is the reality of life. Life is all kind of explosions and chaos and, an action movie. But within the action movie of life, we can find that kind of peaceful, ambient, kind of documentary style film, We can live with whatever film we want, but we have to cultivate that through all of these kinds of energies, You have to figure out with this 6 of Cups, what is that vibe for you, right? What does that mean exactly for you? What does it look like, smell like, right? What does it sound like? And we have to cultivate that, even though, the world is still the world and our life is still our life. We can experience it in kind of a different way, I want to look at the mystery card. I'm curious what this is going to be before this video gets too long. Thank you, Alien, for helping me out. I don't know, maybe some more elevated fire or water energy. Maybe an Ace, 2, or 3 of Cups or Wands. That's what I would like to see. Okay. Well, we've got a 5 of Cups. That's not too bad, but that's, to me, an unbalancing of the 6 of Cups, We're going from that really harmonized, kind of perfect balance and stillness of a 6 of Cups to now kind of falling out of that and being back in the muck, in the mire, right? Back in this tower, back in this chaos in the action movie. And that's a little bit of a feeling of disappointment. It's kind of we're being let down. We reach that kind of Zen-like state, and then in the next moment it's like, oh man, But this is part of the process, and this is part of the experience, because you can't be in this state of nirvana 24 hours a day. It will mean nothing, right? So we need to kind of fluctuate between 5 and 6 so that we can appreciate the 6 when we get there, So I think that this is the movement of it. It's kind of, it's not a permanent state. It's something that we have to try to recreate as often as possible. We take our 5 cups and we try to just get that 6th cup in there that creates that beautiful music and resonance and harmony, that tranquility. And then we know that it may only last a split second. It may last a few minutes, maybe for the night, we don't know. But it's not permanent, right? because of this Tower energy. Now, this is major arcana. This is inevitable energy. We can try to make it work for us. We could try to realize that, hey, look, the more we do this, the more we try to cultivate this, these 5s are not going to be so bad, and there's not going to be such a gulf between the 5 and the 6. It'll be easier for us to get back into the 6, right? The more we do this, it's going to get a little bit easier to do, I think. Anyway, Cancer, we're going to do an extended. If you want to stick around, just click on the link that's right here. That'll give you access to all of the extended readings. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me read for you. Thank you for being the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot.